Motorcycle is actually a collectible. It is a Honda CBX 750F four-cylinder inline. It's a
Wow.
1984. I think only four bikes are available in India. Only few months back, I sold it. I used to do Pune to Bangalore. So that time, my wife, who was working in Pune, my girlfriend, so to meet her, I used to do it in 12 hours from Pune to
Wow.
Bangalore in 12 hours in the Honda. And that Honda, in certain stretches in the Pune Bangalore highway, I used to touch 200 and all. This is a
We can start from the beginning because there are so many things to talk about. So we'll start
yes.
from the beginning. Of course, whatever we do, there are so many influential or impactful moments from our childhood, and then while we are growing up, there are so many pivotal moments. So let's start from the beginning. So childhood से शुरू करते हैं. How did this affair with sketching and designing start for you?
Okay. So, Mera, in since my childhood, I don't think I was destined to be a designer. Like I never felt like childhood से ऐसा
Okay.
कुछ होने वाला है.
Uh-huh.
I just navigated as a normal person, normal childhood, kept exploring many things. So school days went for sports, lot of sports I did with studies, obviously. And then after that, undergraduation went for mechanical engineering, that too in Coimbatore, little an hour and a
Mm-hmm.
half away from Coimbatore. So I did mechanical engineering there. That time I was really fascinated about cars and bikes. So it was more
Okay.
about modified cars, modified bikes. So I used to host a couple of shows in Coimbatore in college, these
Okay.
modified cars. So I remember at that
Wow.
time I used to get that the old Honda City, the most powerful old Honda City was available in that Karivardhan racetrack in Coimbatore. So I had a friend's
Wow.
friend who referred me to him. So through him, I got that car and another rally car into college for a display. We conducted an auto show. We used to go
Wow.
to that JD museum to see the bikes and all. So I think school se zyada during college is when I slowly navigated into understanding and respecting these design or of these certain elements of some. I won't call it design at that time. It was just
Mm-hmm.
I could respect some beauty in
Okay.
certain things. Like could be
Wow.
certain cars I liked, certain cars I didn't like. Obviously, you start making choices, so you have certain values. Same with bikes also. Certain bikes you like, certain bikes you don't like. And some are timeless, right? Like for example,
Correct. Yeah.
Suzuki Shogun, Samurai, the
Yes.
old
Yes.
cast
Correct.
iron Bullet are all timeless pieces, right? So that's how I got introduced to this world. But the resources were less from with me at that time. I
This
just
was which
navigated
year?
it.
This must be
This
2010.
was, yeah, this was before, I think 2008, 7 was time pay, before that time,
Acha.
before that. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I did my graduation and after that came to Pune, didn't join the IT field, which was the
Mm.
trend at that time. Every engineer wanted to take an IT job.
Correct.
So I
Correct.
just came to Pune, took a mechanical engineering job, and that is when I had little bit of resource to do a bike project, my first owned bike project. So
Okay.
I think that is when I started to even think about okay making something on my own, which we call right now of
Okay.
designing something on your own. So I bought a second-hand bike of a friend,
Okay. Which
and
bike?
with it was a Royal Enfield cast iron Bullet. I bought it
Okay.
straight away. I didn't even use it. Straight away took it to the workshop and just gave it for modification. And that is when
Wow.
I started, you know, just just taking these choices on what I want in my custom bike.
Correct.
That
Correct.
is when I think I got first introduced to literal what we call right now as design for me.
Design. Wow.
Yeah,
This is so fascinating because we keep saying that the best way to learn any kind of product, for that matter, motorcycle, let's say, the best way to learn is that get that hands-on experience with the motorcycle. Because see, there are like zillion parts involved in a motorcycle or any automobile for that matter. And
yeah,
during engineering, maybe the syllabus is designed in such a way that
yeah,
बहुत सारा टेक्निकल टेक्निकल हो जाता है बट बहुत सारा
yeah,
बहुत कम प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज होता है दैट्स व्हेन आई गेस the kind of shows you used to host during
Yeah.
college days. So वो सब ज़्यादा enlightening होता है, I feel. And the way you are explaining that you took Royal Enfield and then straight away you sent it to the workshop to some mechanic for ripping it out completely and then part by part designing and
Yeah.
deciding what you really want to have in that motorcycle. I think that,
Yes.
according to me, that is like the best way to learn uh,
Yes. Yes.
anything about that product and let's say motorcycle. And by the way,
Absolutely.
I saw that I read that article on LinkedIn. So I saw pictures
Thank
of
you.
them. Considering you had like little less awareness about design and very less knowledge about automobile in itself, I think you did a wonderful job because I saw some of the
Thank you.
pictures. I saw three custom motorcycles in that article, right? If I'm not wrong. There was one this
Actually, there
Royal
are,
Enfield.
yeah, yeah, there were two actually. So
Okay.
one is a Royal Enfield, the first one which I made, which was a
Hmm.
more like a chopper single seater. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
that is the first project. The second project was a cafe racer which I made in the same cast iron, a different scrap bike I bought again. And
Okay.
I tried to use used parts from the second hand market. Like it has Charisma alloys, it has Charisma shock absorbers in the front, Yamaha
Wow.
R15 gear levers in the sides. The tanks and all the guards were all handmade. The silencer is handmade.
Awesome.
So it was all hand job. The third motorcycle is actually a collectible. It is a
Okay.
Honda CBX 750F four-cylinder inline. It's a
Wow.
1984. I think only four bikes are available in India. So
Wow.
I have a lot of means I have a lot of passion for motorcycles because that is how I started entering. So
So that
this
bike
is the
is
third
still
one.
there with you?
That is, I have just kept it like that. Only few months back, I sold it.
Oh,
So
to whom?
that is a discussion for later. That's a topic on its own.
Okay. Wow. But yeah, you must have felt like really sad giving it away.
Yeah, yeah. I used to do Pune to Bangalore. So that time, my wife, who was working in Pune, my girlfriend, so she to meet her, I used to do it in 12 hours from Pune to
Wow.
Bangalore in 12 hours in the Honda. And that Honda, in certain stretches in the Pune Bangalore highway, I used to touch 200 and all. This is a 1984 inline four, and the sound and all
Wow.
is like mind blowing. It is almost 280, 285 kilos or something. It's really heavy. And it's a proper tourer. You never get tired. It's a very heavy, proper tourer bike.
Oh,
And it's
so
that,
you are a proper hardcore biker actually. It's fair to say
yeah,
that.
yeah, I've done my fair bit. After the kid and all that, I've slightly toned down the last few
Okay.
years, but
Hmm.
generally, I have done a lot of trips. Down south, yes. Up middle and
Wow.
north, center and north, not much, but down south, yes.
Wow. So, which is your like current bike? Which bike do you have?
So I just maintain these two bikes. So the first modified bike, which was a chopper, I did a mistake by making it a single seater. Okay, so you know the mistake of having a single seater in a design college. You cannot take
Yeah.
anyone anywhere. You cannot take anyone for a date. You cannot take anyone for dinner. Nothing.
True. Your girlfriend
So
will hate you.
yeah, it is a big problem. So I converted that same bike into a
Okay.
stock bike. I
Oh,
converted the
okay.
same chopper back to a stock bike, like a vintage stock black with chrome, simple Royal Enfield bike.
Wow. Okay.
And I kept all the parts which I made. I just kept it like a collectible. I just kept it with me. So I
Okay.
maintained that cast iron and I maintained this Cafe Racer cast iron. So both these bullets I have. Then apart from that, I have some two scooters to go and buy Subzi and so
Of
all
course.
those things.
वो एक सब्जी वाली vehicle तो चाहिए ही होती है. So,
Yes, 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 yes. I think that is a
wow.
must.
This is so fascinating. Actually, you should have
So,
been in Bajaj as a motorcycle designer with the kind of passion you are telling me.
oh yeah, yeah, and I have a lot of love for motorcycles, and my contacts in Coimbatore. If you
Hmm.
meet them, if you meet, there's one person, okay, in Coimbatore, and I
Hmm.
think he would be a lovely addition to your podcast. He has
Uh-huh.
three go downs. I'm not kidding. I have seen his go down. Three go downs, not
Uh-huh.
workshop. Three go downs of collectible motorcycles. And some of the
Wow.
designs, if you see, you will be shocked. It is like amazing. He buys the bike slowly, slowly, slowly. He maintains them. he restores it to the original level, and he's amazing. So
What's
I'm
his
just
name?
saying. So his name is Kumar. We call him Kumar. His full name I forgot. His
Okay.
fan club is called, in Facebook. You can search him. His name is KMK Fan Club. You can search. You'll find him. You'll never miss, because he's a
Okay.
very famous guy. But he's not easy to like cordially meet and all. You need to meet him and little. But he's a wonderful person. It's just that because he has so much, he cannot talk to everyone all the time.
Correct.
But
Yeah, of course.
these bikes and all, when I saw his collection, like I was like, I need to have one. So when I got chance, I bought the Honda. So
Wow.
till Feb, I had 5 bikes totally, and slowly, I
Oh,
just toned it down to actually. So
wow. Wow.
yeah,
Your parking space must be a
it's very big
beautiful
enough
sight.
to handle it.
Awesome, awesome. And okay, so we drifted a lot into motorcycle world, but yeah, this is so
Yeah,
fascinating to know that you have such a inbuilt passion for motorcycles. That could be another topic for podcast actually. We'll see.
sure, sure. It'll
Yeah.
be really nice.
So, coming back to your engineering days, so you said that you used to host automobile shows, which can,
Yeah,
where you used to bring in some custom-made cars and motorcycles, stuff like that. So
yeah.
that, and then you were into customizing the existing motorcycles also. So you were
Yes, yes.
having all this going on. So when did that shift happen to design? Like when did you realize that, okay, this is something related to design, and maybe I need to channelize my energy into this design world rather than the engineering world.
Yeah, true. So while I was working in Pune, I worked here there
Mhm.
for a year in that company called Sartex. So that is when I did this. Was I was doing this motorcycle project. When
Okay.
one weekend in a Times of India, that time I used to read newspapers. Yes, so Times of India. One weekend I saw about MIT Institute of Design. I didn't know
Awesome.
anything about NID or IIT or anything
Oh,
about anything else about design or transportation or product. Nothing. Only thing I knew was I can make motorcycle custom or based on my taste. And there is one MIT Institute of Design. I applied for it. My dad
okay.
resisted, obviously. He didn't know anything about
Obviously.
design. He resisted. He, so I would like to thank this one family friend who's a very famous architect in Cochin. Okay, he's a really famous and
Okay.
really sensible, very good aesthetic sense. So when Brad asked him about design, he said, don't stop him, let him go.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was allowed to do the design course. I got through, obviously. I just went with one pen drive for the studio test and that interview. I just showed them
Nice.
these photos of what I was building, and I got through somehow. It went well. And then is when I started entering into design. So it's a combination of a hunch. Like it's not like I was determined. It was like a hunch plus liking plus it was
Yeah, yeah.
understood that engine I wanted to be, yeah, I think more, it was more of a creator space. I wanted to enter into creating something,
Mhm.
so I wanted to just navigate into that actually.
Actually, I'm not sure about the recent bunch of designers, but if we talk to all these designers who went to college during that 2006 to 2012, 13 kind of a phase, so I think more or less the stories are very similar. So किसी को
Yeah,
idea नहीं था कि design कुछ होता है. Everybody was doing mechanical engineering. They knew the thing
yes,
that they love motorcycles and automobiles and cars and सब कुछ पता था. But then very few knew about this design field. And then it was all, as you said, no, it was all hunch and then connecting so many things and things coming together, part of luck also. So yeah, I think that is very, very fascinating. And also that is one way to say, it might not be wrong to say that only passionate people, like people who were like really passionate into it, because see, as you said, you gave up your engineering career. Like there was
yeah,
resistance from your parents' side, and most of the designers that time they all sacrificed that engineering well-established job and all. So I
yeah,
think only passionate bunch of individuals went into college. So yeah,
yes,
it's a very nice statistic to know, I guess. Awesome.
yeah,
So so then you applied for MIT. Then you
yes,
convinced your
yes,
father also, that architect friend of your
yes,
father. He sort of gave a
yes.
good word about designing. So, how was your interview? Do you remember anything about MIT interview going there and all?
Yeah, so I went to MIT before. Yeah, when I went to MIT, it was just that pen drive. So you go into MIT interview, you see people carrying that portfolio. That is when I even
Yeah.
know what a portfolio is.
Portfolio.
First
Portfolio,
is
yeah.
a portfolio, which is a booklet that
Yes.
I didn't know. Second is they had this bag of portfolio. They had a bag filled with work, lot of work. And
Yes.
I was like, my God, here I'm just standing with one backpack and just one pen drive.
One pen drive,
And so there was another guy. Okay, there was another guy called Nagaraj Naidu. He's also
right?
similar
Okay.
like me. He also
Okay.
came just like me. He's also standing.
Uh-huh.
I'm also standing. Then we started talking. Then we clicked. Then and there. So he
Okay.
was also similar like me, but everyone else was carrying loads of work, interview. So I did well in that interview. I just explained what I can. It was
Mhm.
Demant Panchal and few other people. I explained.
Mhm.
They liked it. They saw the photos. They liked what I explained. I think they might have seen Ocha. He can do something. At least he will
Correct,
not
correct,
just
correct.
sit idle. He'll do something. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
He'll not just talk. He'll just talk and he'll do it. So I think they felt confident in that way, maybe. So Nagaraj also similarly, I think he also came with a pen drive. Maybe he didn't show me the pen drive, but he also got. So me and Nagaraj, we came back. So after that, the studio tests were there. So studio tests, anyways, we did well because we were good with
Hands
hands
on.
on. So studio test was
Correct,
not a
yeah.
problem. After that, me and Nagaraj came back. We connected. And one day, Mr. Nagaraj called me. He said he got through. I said I also got through. He said, "Okay, we'll join together." Then that's how our journey started. So me and
Oh,
him
awesome.
joined. Like he understood I was staying near market somewhere, and then we joined and all that. So it was good fun. At least that whole journey of getting into MIT. That
MIT
time,
is in Loni, right? Uh,
yes, Loni,
that place is
Loni.
called
Yeah.
Loni, right? And it's
Yes, yes,
a
yes,
little far from central Pune. I think some 30, 40
yes.
kilometers away from Pune.
Yes. From Hadapsar, I think it's around half an hour, 40 minutes, I think.
Uh, you and your friend Naidu, Mr. Naidu.
Yes,
So you both
yes, Mr.
decided
Naidu.
to go to MIT. Both had a portfolio with a
Yes,
pen drive, nothing more than that.
in a pen drive.
And
Yes.
so how did like you remember anything about your experience at MIT? How was it? I remember
So,
I know this thing because I had a friend from MIT. She always used to praise a lot about that campus. I think
yeah,
it has
the
a
campus is
beautiful
beautiful.
campus, right? Yeah, I haven't been there,
Yes.
but I have heard.
Yes. Campus is beautiful. I think was beautiful, you can say, because currently I don't know what the state is. I know the state, but I don't think that's the topic right now. When we were there, I think 11 and 10, yeah, 11 and 12 at that time, it was just design. So design was separate. It was next to that river, Mula Muta River, and the
Okay.
campus was serene. It was just design. The other small institutes which they had planned were all under small constructions. So there was only
Okay.
two colleges and one school. But one is that premium school which was there. Forgot the name. And then one naval engineering college, and then design
Oh,
college. So these three were only there in the Loni campus. Okay.
oh, so there
Then
are like
obviously they
many
had that.
students staying in the campus, not like just designing.
Yeah, this was when we were there. When
Okay.
my batch and my next batch, when all were there, well, it was only these three. Okay, so school was anyways a residential school. School doesn't interact with these two other. The naval, because they were naval, they had strict norms of in time and out time, and because they were all merchant navy kind of a cadet
Okay.
kind of an engineer, so they had strict
Mhm.
timings and strict rules of uniform and everything. The
Okay.
design was very free, obviously. So there was
Mhm.
this design and design hostels, and you know what comes along with design, right? All those chota tapparis and everything was always there.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was nice. It was an experience, obviously, because foundation and all. That is when I was literally exposed to sketch at the start. So I was not so great in the beginning, but eventually it got better and better.
Mhm.
And So yeah, so it went really well. Touch wood. After that, after design, yes, obviously we did few projects in college. All were not superbly great. Some were great, some were not great. And the major break I got was when I got an internship in Tata Elxsi. So I
Okay.
started sending out mails to all who I knew. So another undergrad designer referred me to she was intern at Tata Elxsi. She referred me to someone else in Tata Elxsi in Delhi.
Awesome.
From there, the mail went to Bangalore. I got called in
Oh,
Bangalore. I went there. So it worked out. It was
Wow,
nice. Tata Elxsi was a
nice.
nice place.
And what was
So I went.
the project given to you?
So that time in Tata Elxsi, they had a real project. So they had a real project was to redefine an ice cream cart. You know
Oh,
these
okay.
push ice cream carts. So they had a
Correct.
project for Southeast Asian market to redefine the
Wow.
whole ice cream cart for Hindustan Unilever. So that
Oh,
was the
awesome.
project which we got.
Okay. Hmm.
So it was a nice project. So it was a nice project. I was doing it for 6 months. Right now, when I look at it, I feel like I could have done better, but it was a fair bit of work, a lot of prototyping, a lot of research.
That unlike most of these college projects where students design something for like long way in the future, like uh, concept car for 2050 or something like that. So you know that that is so conceptual that it becomes like a styling exercise.
Yeah.
What would have been very exciting for that project with Tata Elxsi is that hands-on, realistic approach to the design, because and that's
Yes.
why you were talking about prototyping and all, right? So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm pretty sure it would have involved a lot of learning throughout.
Yeah. 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 I think I backed it because uh, personally, I think I was not super conceptual person, maybe not like a awesome car stylist also, and I'm not in the low ranking also, somewhere in the middle. Hence,
Correct.
I think I got an industrial design kind of project because I was good in conceptually doing it something really quick and then converting it into a 3D model. Also, I was good at both. So
Okay.
I was doing both. So because I think they liked that this guy was balanced in both. So I could do it a little bit on paper and a little bit in Alias. And I
Hmm.
built that in college slowly. Hence,
Awesome.
maybe that was like a natural instinct. Maybe that was me. Hence, that could be used in Tata Elxsi. Maybe that's the reason they selected me also. So this guy is
Wow.
not 100% conceptual and is not 0% 3D. Hence, we can use
Hmm.
this power uh, in such sort of an industrial project. I think that's the
Correct.
reason they wanted a couple of interns.
I think now that you are in a position that you hire a lot of students and interns, what do you feel about this? That at least in my experience, I have seen companies get more inclined towards designers with mixed bag of skills rather than selecting a person who has like exceptional sketching skills, let's say, but
Yeah.
not having other life skills, let's say communication skills are there, or there are so many things like the way you handle the problem or where your temperament is there, all those things. So now that you are in a position that you hire so many students, so what do you
Yeah.
think? What is that mixed bag of things which industry look for when they're hiring students?
I personally think when we look at portfolios and look for hiring, right, I think the student should have some sort of a design sense. And this design sense is very subjective, okay, because that design sense, I don't think we can train anyone to have.
True.
So
Yeah.
your portfolio, whoever is showcasing the portfolio, whatever the project is, let it be even a product design also, let it be a motorcycle also, that basic aesthetic sense of what you believe in, whatever context in which you have designed it for, that should be
Hmm.
truly honestly presented in the folio and let the other person judge. You be yourself. I think that should be
Correct.
there. This is one thing we can't train a new designer to have because it's you.
Okay.
Your character will definitely come along with the portfolio. So we look for that for sure. In and it's not easy to find it. We just look and we rate it based on certain criteria. You just write down your 3 4 criteria based on which you're rating, and I think this is one of them. The second thing which I personally love to see in students is more than the final output. I'd love to see the ideation phase of how he navigated through what he wanted to do. Let's say he's designing a futuristic motorcycle for some context he set for maybe 2030,
Hmm.
2050, whatever. But how did you navigate it and how did you reach that? I cherish the journey more than the destination.
Final
So
look. Okay.
I really would love to see little bit of the journey, or maybe he just
Hmm.
explains it in a way it's subtle and nice, or he or she. So those things we definitely look for. 3D is an added plus, but it's not a must all the time. Because generally, if you're clear in your journey, you tend to do quite well in converting it into some sort of a representative form. You might sculpt it out, you might make it in by hand or on the studio, or you'll definitely find the way of doing it. So I don't think these two things are my primary yes, and the others are secondary, maybe 3D and the other
Okay, so
skills.
basically the journey, which can be defined as a story, what he has believed in, and his
Yeah.
inner intuition about design and aesthetics. What is his character,
Yeah.
basically? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because these things you can't, at least the first thing, definitely you can't train.
True, yeah.
Your choice of elements and your choice of certain things you've done, maybe it might be a radius you've put, or it might be some feature you've put. That I don't think you can train. It comes by your skill, right? It's your observation, your liking.
Yes, correct. All your upbringing and whatever the environment you have gone through. So,
Absolutely, absolutely,
mm,
absolutely.
awesome. That's a very beautiful insight, actually. Okay, so coming back to your Tata Elxsi journey. So, tell me something that because you came from a very hardcore engineering background, right? So
Yeah.
when you entered this design what do you say design world for that matter, so when you entered this design world, uh, how was your experience? Like, what did you feel? Like, did you feel a complete 180-degree shift in your lifestyle, or it was like more or less similar to what you were doing in engineering?
I don't think it is same to engineering. Engineering is completely different. Design, as you enter this field, it's more of a discovery. You discover new things, and
Hmm.
you have to navigate through it slowly. So I was discovering new things. I was navigating through it. I was doing some side projects in between work also in the weekends. That was when I was building the second motorcycle. So I was just discovering and finding my taste in between all that. As you do on projects, you find your taste. You know, you had certain acquired taste before. Then
Hmm.
you say no to certain things. You say yes to certain things. So
True.
engineering, these things and all, you never feel. It's very
More structured,
engineering is
basically.
it's very rigid, right? It's very structured. It's very rigid. But here you start navigating. You meet new people. You talk. You debate. You tell. They tell. You
Yes.
hear. You listen. You understand. You get rejections many times.
Correct.
Sometimes the speed is given more preference over design. Sometimes design is given more preference over speed. So you
It's
understand these
very
things.
subjective, yeah. It's very subjective. It's
Yeah.
very adventurous, I would say.
Yeah. So you have to, I think you are your own best judge. And I was just taking it with the flow, trying to just understand and navigate through. You,
Hmm.
it's very easy to, I don't think I can put it in like 1 or 2 words. It's not an easy task to do that.
True. Understood. So, so fine. Then you were doing this project with Tata Elxsi. Then I'm very curious to know that how JCP happened to you. Like, you got absorbed by Tata Elxsi, right? Like, looking at your
Yes.
project and your work and
Yes.
dedication towards it, you got absorbed in Tata Elxsi. So, tell me what kind of projects you did with Tata Elxsi, and then what led to the JCP.
Yes. So Tata Elxsi, as you know, right, it was one of the biggest consultancies in India, design
True. Yeah.
consultancies, and it is under the Tata brand. So Tata
Yes.
Elxsi, I was working on this ice cream cart project. I did a LG customized bus project for LG.
Wow.
And
Okay.
we did a couple of projects for Mahindra. That is more of a concept modeling project for Mahindra for Auto Expo. Then
Okay.
did a couple of pitch projects for JLR. Um, so like this, it was a mixed bag of product slash transportation design type of. Then we did a lot of these miscellaneous works which you do, when you're in a studio. A lot of miscellaneous
Yeah.
work, little bit of
Okay.
some stand design or an exhibition. Some miscellaneous projects will definitely be there in all studios, irrespective,
Okay.
because everyone thinks you have some magic wand in your hands to just create something
Hmm.
in few minutes. So some
So you got
miscellaneous
exposed to a lot
projects,
of variety of projects.
variety. Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome.
And that is when one of the senior designers, he came and told me, okay, and this I tell to many of the students also. So he came and told me, see, if you're a designer, and he was a very senior designer, he was from IIT Bombay, passed out long back, those vintage senior, super good designers.
Mhm.
He said, see, if
Okay.
you're a senior, if you want to grow in design, first, it would be good if you can work in an OEM first.
Okay.
Then gather all the experience, then work in a tier one or tier two supplier, like
Okay.
many companies have design studios right now.
Yeah.
Then come to with all that knowledge, then come to Tata Elxsi. So then you
Okay.
can become a consultant, right? You get all the knowledge, then you come for retiring to Tata Elxsi. That's what he said. Then I was like,
Okay.
wow, I have started at the bottom. Now I have to go to the top. He's giving me this advice. And I'm like, wow, superb. Now I've come at the bottom. I have to go to the
Okay.
top and come down
Wow.
again. You know,
Oh.
because it's not about design, it's about knowledge, right? That
Yeah,
design
yeah.
knowledge, you're hungry for knowledge and to do things, no? So
Correct.
irrespective of what product you do, you want knowledge and you want to do that. And I love motorcycles. Maybe I didn't get through, I wanted to get through things and all. I did get through a Royal Enfield internship, but it didn't work out for some reason. But
Mhm.
when he said this, I was like, wow, I have started at the bottom, now it's time to go up. So
Okay.
that was quite a revelation for me when I was working.
Actually, it actually happened ulta for you, no? That you started at the bottom and then you are now working as an
Yeah,
OEM.
yeah. Now I'm at an OEM now. So,
Oh.
but
So
it
how
was
did
that
this?
that statement stuck in my head. It got stuck in my head. There are some statements get stuck in your head. No, this is one of them.
Uh, Yeah, but actually, don't you think, Kiran, nowadays there is no fixed strategy or rule when it comes to, design career? Because see, there are so many things changing, especially in this COVID time. Things took a completely different route for a completely different approach for that matter.
Yeah,
Things went digital very fast. So recently I went to NIT. So that time I saw many of the automobile design students, they are now working on, they have this uh, user interface project in their syllabus. Like
wow.
imagine. So they are doing HMI. They are developing all those UI slides in Figma. Figma is such a latest
Yeah, yeah,
and I know Figma because my wife is a graphic designer. Okay, she uses
okay.
that software, and that's how I know what is Figma and all that. But other than that, I would have never known what is Figma and what is happening. But these last 2 years, it changed everything. Now,
Yeah,
uh, transportation designers using Figma for their projects, people making presentation in a software named as Canva, which never
yeah,
existed in our time. Then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
students, many students are using this software called as
Hero.
Miro board, right? Miro board, and I was like very fascinated because I never used all of that. And when I saw those guys using those softwares and apps, I was like, ये तो कितना easy हो गया है मतलब एक
Yeah,
तो
yeah, yeah, yeah.
then they have such a convenient software for things. Then
Absolutely.
so many disciplines have, intermingled with each other, like graphic design, transportation design. Then there is HMI now. So I think now there is no straightforward rule when it comes to a design career which anybody should follow.
No.
Definitely, it should be logical at the most,
Yeah,
but everybody should decide like what is his or her interest and what is their what you say likings and disliking, and according to that they can pave their own path. That's what I feel nowadays.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Like I can tell you a story which what you exactly said. We opened our eyes like in last few months also. So
Mhm.
last year's two online the interns were fantastic. We were coaching them. They were presenting normal presentation, right? I think they made it in Canva. Their work was good. They just presented it, right? This year, beginning of the year, we got two interns. Out of that one intern, Atharva, he's with us right now. He was only presenting on Miro, okay? And we were like awestruck with because it's an infinite campus. I can see what he's doing right now if I want. He can
Mhm.
see my cursor with all my comments right now if he wants. And
Okay.
he was only presenting it. His whole project is in Miro. It has
Wow.
research, starts from one end of the canvas, which is research. It goes down navigating through research, and we gave him a very radical, unconventional brief. And he was going. Then there's another end of the canvas filled with sketches. Last 3 weeks, we've been focusing on Blender. He's been on Blender, and now with a lot of things, he's refined that, and he's reached another end of the canvas where it's filled with those refined curves and lines of where the more sculpting is happening of his sketch, so that he's clear on the form. But we were really awestruck, and after that, I have been using Miro also extensively, personally,
Oh,
for my
wow.
brain dump and for dumping all the ideas and just writing all the thoughts after these things which just come to your head, someday. So I personally also love Miro a lot, and it's just been amazing, to just see how one intern can just change your thing, right? The way
Yeah, I think
it
this,
is.
this COVID has been blessing in disguise in many ways, and बहुत सारी चीजें change हो गई because of this work from home scenario. Many, innovative things like Miro boards or Canva, everything popped up. Things have become very easy, like graphic designing with Canva. It has become very easy and intuitive. So, also, I think we are living in a very exciting time. It's changing so
Yeah,
fast.
definitely. It'll all come down to what we make out of it, I think.
True.
Everything is available.
It's right.
Everything is there.
Precisely, yes.
It'll all just come down to that final
What you can
line.
make out of it, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So again, we drifted a little bit, but Kiran, coming back to our original topic. So
I
how
think it
did?
was drifting, but it's fine. I like the conversation side of
I'm
it.
yeah, I'm really loving this because this is all. There are so many lessons in these conversations. So I am loving it, and I'm pretty sure people who are going to watch this, they are also going to learn so many things. I'm pretty sure many people would go after looking at this podcast. Many people would go and search for Miro boards. What is it? What is this presentation making in Canva? Let me check. So yeah, that's very
Absolutely.
important lessons out here, I guess. Uh, so
Absolutely.
so Kiran, coming back to that topic, how did JCB happen for you?
JCB was a combination of luck plus friendship plus skill set. It's
Oh,
the easiest way to put it, right? Let's just drop the bomb.
wow.
It's not
Okay.
like you just get it. So me and Rishabh Chaturvedi, we were working together. Me, Rishabh, and Anupam was also there. So we were working together in LSE. Anupam left and joined Maruti. Rishabh decided to pursue and he left and joined JCB. And I was also looking out. I sent out my portfolio to a couple of places. Rishabh sent it to his boss in JCB who was there. He liked it. They called me. We had an interview. Everything went well. So Rishabh referred me. So that was the first, the factor of luck. Second, the skills matched what JCB was looking for. And then everything just fell in place. So it was as simple as that. These things happen right now also. It used to happen then also. So me, Rishabh, and Kiran Kulkarni, who was an ex-Tata Motors designer, we were a team then. And we just started doing some nice work in JCB. So that's
Wow.
how it happened actually.
Wow, the way you describe it is very uh, like you make it sound very easy, but I'm sure there are so many things. Not everyone can do that. See, you said three things, right? Friendship, luck, and skill set.
Yeah,
Skill set. I think if we go into all like individual categories, it's not that easy to crack. Like
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
so,
Obviously.
I'm pretty sure that it won't be that easy as you described. So you deserved it for so many things, and that's why you are here. So Kiran, now how many years you have been there with JCB?
So my JCB tenure has been 8+ years right now. So
Wow.
totally, it's
Okay.
been little more than 8 years now.
So how do you describe your journey with JCB? Like what and all happened?
8.5 years. How do I tell it in a short story? um, 8.5 years. It's been good. It's been good. So I think I started as an individual contributor. Just
Mhm.
got in. I just wanted to just explore what is design in JCB, trying to figure out what is design in JCB. So it was more of individual contributor of some machines were getting facelifted. So I started working on that. There was a local/global projects at that time. So individual contributor was my first entry. So I was just working on some small projects. Never got a whole
Okay.
project in the beginning. It was just small little here and there. Was slightly getting a picture, but still not getting the exposure. A little bit of patience, frustration, everything was starting to just, creep up. I want to do more,
Okay.
want to do more. So as I was doing these individual projects, my speed started getting faster. So I started getting really fast in from ideation to concept model, it started getting faster. So that's when one of the head of design UK came to India. So he saw my speed. He said, "Why don't you come to UK for some time?" You
Wow.
know,
Okay.
he saw the speed. He said, "I have a project in UK, next gen excavator. Just come to UK, spend a few months, see what you can do, and we'll see. Let's figure it out then." So
Awesome.
that was a good luck break. So I went to UK, spent some time, worked on the next gen excavator interiors. I found my weakness and strength both when I went to UK. You understand, right? You're getting into a global scene with
Yes,
some
yes,
really
yes.
good designers, and that's when you're two designers working on the same project. You get to know he's doing something really well. I'm doing something really bad or good.
Yeah.
You get to know all these things at that time. So I did that exposure, had good time there. We had good fun. Came back. That's when lot of some of the global projects were shifting to India. So I got
Yeah.
the opportunity to lead those projects. Some
Wow.
me and Rishabh were doing. Then Rishabh stepped out. Rishabh is a good friend now also, and I continued doing that global projects here. There was a time where that was my peak and low because I was doing this work, but I was alone in the studio.
Oh,
It was just me in the studio. So there was a time
wow.
it was just me and I was just managing the studio and I was just delivering projects.
Wow.
So yeah, so that was quite frustrating, but it was rewarding in the end because I stood ground, I made a lot of made design clear for the company and they gave me more power and I started to raise there was a voice in the organization from India on design. Now, once
Wow.
that was set, I got a new studio, much more rounded, much more better equipped studio. We made it happen. I started recruiting a team, started building a team from scratch. In fact,
Wow.
most of them were freshers. So we started fresh. I started going for juries to different colleges, especially MIT. Fell in love with a couple of students, offered them. They loved what I was proposing, joined, and we're like a family. We're like a superb team. It's all just one step at a time. In between, also there were some setbacks. Some designers who did join, it didn't work out. So all these things happen in this
For sure. Yeah,
8 years.
yeah. It's not a, yeah,
Start
yeah.
from an individual contributor, you work in a team, you go become alone set in that, and then you set up the whole studio from scratch, everything, right? Fully
Wow.
equipped. And now, we have, as I told you, we handle visual, we handle operator, we handle interface.
Interface
And
also.
I don't say I'm an interface designer, right? I cannot say, though I'm confident right now, but we have to do it. Otherwise, these are all design opportunities, right, in the
Yeah,
organization.
yeah.
Otherwise, it'll get ignored, and it'll just become inconsistent. And someday you will say, I could have done it, I didn't do it, but we just went ahead and did it. It was challenging, but we just went ahead and we had to pick it up. So
So
we
how
did
big is
get
the team
support
now?
from UK. So we are 4 people right now, totally.
Okay.
Four plus we have a couple of contracts also like to they are in the CGI team, but they are visualizers. So 4 plus 3. So
Awesome.
CGI is around 3. So you have 4 plus 3, 7ish. Yeah.
Wow. What a journey
Plus
you
this
had.
intern.
Like starting as a fresh contributor, then going to UK, then working alone, setting up everything from scratch, and now having a full-fledged R&D setup with a team.
Yeah.
So that's very, very inspiring actually. Because heavy equipment designing, construction equipment designing is such a niche field. Uh, if you have to describe this field, design field, in like one or two sentences, how would you define it? How is it different from normal regular automobile designing? And what are the challenges involved?
Okay. So it's tough, but I'll try. Construction equipment design, I would, I could call it, you could call it industrial design. So
Industrial
industrial
design.
design for construction equipments are
Mm-hmm.
primarily problem solving. Okay. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when you do visual, you are catering to the brand, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
the brand shows strength and many other keywords. It shows strength, confidence, power, or whatever. JCB, even kids know it for a
JCB.
reason, right? There's a reason why the
Yes.
brand is what it is. Maybe it's because the machines, the size of the machine, whatever it is. So visuals, you're problem solving. You are solving something at some point of time. It might be aesthetic, it might be for the operator, it might be for the digital touchpoint. So at every point, you're designing for construction equipment to solve some problem at,
Some problem.
uh, at, at every point. So it is not always form. It sometimes function takes over form. Sometimes form takes over function. Every brief will not be the same. You won't get it the same
Correct.
at all points of
Yeah.
time.
Uh, who should apply or who should get into this career? Let's say if I am one of the aspiring students who have always loved JCB equipments and all that, and let's say I have to, I'm thinking of this as a career. Like, what do you recommend
Yeah.
me? What should I focus on?
I I personally think if you're interested, just first intern. Just intern with any organization. It can be JCB
Mhm.
or any other organization. Just intern first.
Mhm.
After you've done internship, you judge for yourself whether you like it, you like the team,
Mhm.
you will want to work with the team, you love
True.
the briefs or something. And once you've taken that judgment, because that much opportunity is there, um, you can apply. If the opening is there, apply for it. Go for it. If
Mhm.
it's not there, don't go for it. And the second thing is, it's not a glamorous like equipments of construction equipment, especially in India. It's not very glamorous right now,
Mhm.
but European and the world construction equipment global projects are really, really to the detail, and they're technologically at par
Yes.
with any other company you can name it. So
Mhm.
uh, it'll all come down to where you are at what point of time, right? You intern, you might get a
Mhm.
good brief. If you wait for it, you might get more interesting. If you just stick around, you'll get more interesting. And then as you grow up the ladder, you'll find out that you'll find the small niche. Maybe you are really good at interiors. So in our team also we have found certain team members are good at interiors. And then there
Interiors.
are others who are really good at exteriors. And they after trial and error, we found out that they want to
Mhm.
specialize in that. And then your mind
I
will
think,
be
yeah.
in that zone.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense because while you were telling me these things, even I was looking into my career journey. I never, I think I was never destined to become a motorcycle designer. I always loved riding motorcycles. Always loved automobile in general. So I took mechanical engineering. Like my parents were very upset with me that I didn't take computer engineering and I chose mechanical engineering. And they're like, and this was like 2006 times and all, right? So IT was giving the highest amount of package and all that. So
Mm.
yeah, let's talk about you as a person. What are your hobbies? What do you like?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hobbies. See, I I don't know. I know we have not met. I'm tall. Okay.
Oh, really?
So
Okay. How tall are you? How tall are you?
I'm I'm 6 feet 4.
6 feet 4 inches. Wow.
Yes, yes, yes. So
Okay.
I am a basketball player. So since school days, I played basketball. I've played in all levels. So
Wow.
nowadays I don't play. I just train my 5-year-old in the half court we have downstairs. So
Wow.
till Bangalore, Tata Lexi, I used to play a lot. I used to play for small clubs and all that and
Hmm.
all that. I
Awesome.
played everything. Most of the levels I played. University, district, state. I've even gone for the India camp twice when I was in the school
Wow.
days.
Okay.
So basketball is definitely in my blood for sure. Sports
Nice.
and basketball is definitely in my blood. Motorcycles is definitely in my blood. That has come after engineering and as I was exploring, as I've told you. Books has been my like recent passion last maybe 5 6 years or something. It's been
Okay.
part of me. So I just keep drifting around, like how we have these drifts in our conversation. So there's nothing like a topic which I stick to. I just keep navigating around different books based on knowledge and what I acquire, because I personally have started to believe that design is not just about design alone. You just need to find out multiple things, and there is design or this attention to detail and problem solving in all aspects
Yes, yes,
of
yes.
of life, or wherever you are. So books
True.
just gives me. I think each book has, that one person who's writing. He spends 2 years of his life researching and writing that one book, and
True.
we just read it, and then same with these podcasts. No, I'm sure you also love
Yeah.
listening to podcasts. I also love listening to podcasts, and COVID has accelerated it, not decelerated.
True.
So podcast also has been part of my journey. Yeah, so I think these are the few things which
Actually, just to add
is
on to
me right
that,
now.
just to add a little bit more on to that point, as you said, you have recently started reading. I think during this COVID, I also started reading books, and it started from finance related books, like investing and all
Yeah,
that. But then
yeah,
now I really enjoy reading not just books, but Wikipedia pages, like whole article I'll be reading, and I enjoy
yeah,
that. And especially for the people who are not into reading, podcast has
yeah.
become such a blessing, because
Absolutely,
because
absolutely.
it's such a spoon feeding of knowledge, and you
Yeah,
literally have to do nothing. And most of the time, it has become a habit of mine, like while driving or while doing exercise or something like that. I always have my
yeah,
Bluetooth headphones, like Bluetooth
yeah,
or any headphones for that matter,
yeah,
and I'll be
yeah.
listening to all these podcasts.
Absolutely.
And there are podcasts for every topic for that matter.
All
So
topics.
so it has become a very interesting medium. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So awesome. So podcast, reading, then basketball. I didn't know that you are a national player. That's awesome to know. 6 feet 4 inches. That I'll always remember now. So when I'll meet
Small,
you,
small snippets.
awesome. So and just to end this conversation, like very long conversation,
Yes,
do you want to
yes, yes,
share
yes.
any word of wisdom? Like if there are aspiring, I'm pretty sure there will be aspiring students who will watch this. There will be people from the
Definitely.
industry who are not so much aware about this field. Do you want to
Yeah.
share any kind of final word of wisdom?
I don't know whether I am the right person for sharing wisdom.
You are just being very
I,
humble.
but I think everyone likes to share wisdom.
So approach them and ask them, right?
Everyone loves to share. Like we were telling this designer, okay, so this intern, we went to him yesterday. So we asked him, not me, I think Harsh, my teammate, asked him. So are you going to go behind passion or money?
That's
Uh,
a interesting
okay,
question.
so
Okay.
he's like, पैसा पैसा चाहिए पैसा चाहिए पैसा चाहिए हर्ष से बहुत सही चूज किया पैसे के पीछे ही भागना ठीक है दिस इज ऑन फ्राइडे इवनिंग वो
Oh,
ऐसा होता है ना वो
yes.
रैंडम rapid fire conversations ऐसा then after that we went closer to him, was looking at his model, then I asked him क्या चाहिए अभी मतलब मॉडल देखो या मतलब क्या चाहिए
Hmm.
नहीं कुछ नहीं सिर्फ आप बस देखो और ज्ञान दो तो लाइक ज्ञान ज्ञान तो बहुत ऐसा बहर है ऐसे फ्री
हर
ज्ञान
जगह
ऐसा
पे
बहते हर जगह फ्री ज्ञान मिलेगा आपको
seriously,
then
seriously.
then we took him out we went for coffee, then we didn't discuss about work. So coming anyways we drifted, but coming back to what you said, mera mera wisdom or whatever I can say is I just want to keep it as short as possible. I'm thinking of how to compile it. So I will say, just see, it's a journey. Whatever you do, design or
Hmm.
whatever, wherever you are, it's a journey. Okay, uh, build your own value system. You will value certain things at certain phases of your life. You
Hmm.
build your value system, respect it for some time, try it out. If it didn't work, evaluate karo and just alter it. You listen to podcast, you read, you question yourself, look within also sometimes. For a
Hmm.
time, not every day. You don't have to keep looking. Once a week or once a month, something.
Yeah.
Just keep looking and correct karo your course little bit. and then try it out again. So
Correct.
maybe I cannot talk like this 5 years back. I cannot talk like this 8 years back.
Hmm.
It has taken trial and error. I write also just to download, because if you keep it in your mind is inefficient. Just write
Yes,
it down, find your own medium, whichever suits you, build your own system, and build your own aesthetics or a sense or whatever sense you want to do. Maybe it's aesthetic, maybe it's
Hmm.
DIY, maybe it's a maker space, creator space, or whatever, and navigate through it. And at some point, check it, don't like it, result mila, nahi mila, course correct karo, find something else, iterate karo, and just keep going. We all are doing. I'm sure, Saket, you're also doing similar things, and I would also love to do similar things. And I am not perfect. We are not perfect.
We are not perfect.
So just it's a journey. I also am fall very impatient many times. We designers are impatient many
We
times.
do so many
Want
mistakes.
results. We want results. We want a little bit of glamour. We want little bit of. We all want. I think humans, everyone
Yes,
want.
yes, we are
You
designed
know,
like that way.
my wife also wants the same. She's also designed. So उनको भी expectation रहता है. You know, मैं घर आके कुछ करेगा तो she'll say नहीं ये अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. तो it'll all happen. Rejections and
True,
everything.
true, true.
So I think just navigate through it, course correct it, and believe in yourself, your value system. Build it. Build your own system. Some things will work for you. Some things might not.
Yeah.
Just keep
I think
iterating.
that's a beautiful insight you have given, I think, because I understood like 2 points you give a lot of value to. First of all, having your own value system, and then giving some time to nurture it. And then the second is always try to enjoy the journey and not go for the final result. I think these are like two very interesting, enlightening words of wisdom you have given. With that, we'll conclude this podcast. Kiran, it is a wonderful conversation we had. I had a lot of fun. In fact, we stay very nearby. I can't
Yes.
wait to meet you in person. Let's see how
Definitely, we
we'll
should catch up.
how 6 feet 4 inch will feel in person. But yeah, I'm thankful for this platform itself. That because of this podcast platform, I got a chance to interact with you. So thanks for
I'm
being
also
here.
thankful for yes. I'm also thankful for Ajay Chaudhary, who I
Yeah,
speak
thanks to Ajay.
to catch up, who introduced me to you, and I saw your channel also. It's very interesting. I think a lot of people will benefit from the channel, from the knowledge you are sharing, the work you are doing, plus your journey. You meet people, the way you interact with them. I'm sure you are getting tons of
Yes.
exposure with this, and you're learning a lot. And I am also learning a lot when I talk.
Yes.
And thank you for having me too.
My pleasure.
It is fun. It is fun.
My pleasure. I'm so glad we did this conversation. So thank you for being here and see you soon.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Kiran. Bye-bye.